Your breakthrough isn't about where you start. It's about whether you're willing to fight for what God has placed inside of you. So let's be real for a moment. What's holding you back? Is it the weight of your past? The fear that you'll never measure up? The voice in your head that keeps telling you it's too late? That you don't have enough? That you'll never make it? But what if the real problem isn't what you're lacking, but how you see yourself? What if the greatest limitation isn't your situation, but your mindset? Because listen, your future isn't shaped by what you don't have. It's shaped by what you choose to do with what you've got. It's easy to feel stuck, to believe that where you are right now is where you'll always be. But what if this place, this struggle, this moment that feels impossible is actually the place where God is getting ready to move? What if He's not just asking you to endure it, but to step up and grow through it? Your success isn't about how much you start with. It's about how much faith, determination, and grit you're willing to put in. The ones who make it aren't always the ones with the best circumstances. They're the ones who refuse to quit, the ones who decide that failure isn't an option, the ones who see obstacles and say, "This isn't the end of me. This is where I get stronger." Think about the people who came before you, the ones who had nothing but a dream and the will to chase after it. They didn't let setbacks define them. They didn't let fear hold them back. They didn't wait for perfect conditions to start. They took what they had, trusted God, and made a way. So now, the question isn't whether you have enough. The question is, are you ready to push past every excuse, every fear, every doubt, and step into what God has called you to? Because your future isn't waiting on a perfect moment. It's waiting on you to rise up and take hold of it. And that's where so many people go wrong. They want success now, the breakthrough now, the results now. But true success, it's not instant. It's a process, a refining. A journey that demands persistence when nothing seems to be working, and patience when the progress feels painfully slow. Every step you take, every late night, every hard decision, every unseen effort is shaping something greater than you can see. Proverbs reminds us, in their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. That means every small move forward, even the ones that feel insignificant, is being woven into a divine plan that's bigger than you realize. It might take years. It might require sacrifice, discipline, and a level of faith that doesn't waver when things don't happen on your timeline. But hear me. Nothing done in faith is ever wasted. The seeds you plant today, the quiet work you put in, the moments where you choose to trust God over your doubts, all of it is leading to something greater than you could ever build on your own. But let's be clear, this journey isn't just about personal achievement. It's not about chasing status, stacking wealth, or building a name for yourself. What good is success if it leaves you empty? If it costs you your integrity? If it lifts you up but leaves others behind? Jesus made it clear. Real impact is found in love. Love one another, not just in words, but in action. That means your success is measured not just by what you build, but by how you build up others. It's about how you use what God gives you, not just for yourself, but to serve, to encourage, to lift people who feel unseen. Because at the end of the day, the greatest legacy you can leave is not wealth, not titles, not recognition, but a life that pointed people back to God through love, kindness, and faith in action. What people remember most is how you made them feel. Did they feel valued? Did they feel seen? Did they walk away from you feeling encouraged or overlooked? That's the impact that lasts. Your life is like a flame that has the power to ignite others. The warmth of your kindness, the sincerity of your care, those are the things that linger in people's hearts long after the moment has passed. It's not about grand gestures or perfect words. It's about the way you live day in and day out and the way you treat those around you. But here's the thing. Living with that kind of purpose requires growth. It's not enough to start something and hope it all works out. You have to be willing to adjust, to stretch, to step beyond what's comfortable, and that's where faith comes in. Because when things don't go according to plan, and trust me, there will be moments when they don't, you'll be tempted to think it's over. But God doesn't let obstacles define your outcome. He uses them to shape you. Every setback holds a lesson. Every frustration is an invitation to trust Him more. What feels like failure today might just be the foundation for something greater tomorrow. The question is, will you keep going? Will you trust that God is leading you even when the road is unclear? Think about the parable of the talents. The ones who multiplied what they were given weren't the ones who played it safe. They took risks. They worked. They invested. And because of their faithfulness, they saw increase. That's how growth happens. It takes courage, it takes wisdom, and most of all, it takes faith in the one who never stops working on your behalf. Life is full of unexpected turns. Many people start down one path, believing it's their calling, only to realize that God has been leading them towards something completely different, and that's okay. Success isn't about getting everything right the first time. It's about trusting God through every detour, every closed door, and every new direction. The path He has for you isn't always a straight line, but when your skills, vision, and faith come together, you'll find yourself exactly where you're meant to be. Maybe you've poured your heart into something that hasn't taken off the way you hoped. Maybe you've put in the hours, made sacrifices, and still feel like you're barely getting by. But don't let that discourage you. The key isn't just working harder, it's being willing to adjust, to learn, and to keep your focus on serving others with Christ-like love. When you stop chasing success for yourself and start looking for ways to bless others, that's when everything shifts. Even in industries overflowing with competition, there's always room for someone who operates with integrity, kindness, and a genuine heart to serve. The extra mile may not be crowded, but that's where transformation happens. When you prioritize people over profit, when you put care into the little things, when you bring excellence to the ordinary, that's when you stand out. Because true success isn't about doing something never seen before. It's about doing what's common with uncommon love, wisdom, and faith. God has given you talents for a reason. They're not just for your benefit, but for the impact you can have on those around you. Whether it's in your business, your workplace, your community, or your home, how you show up matters. When you treat people with respect, when you serve with a heart of compassion, you create something far more valuable than any achievement. You build trust, relationships, and a legacy that lasts. Jesus Himself showed us the greatest kind of leadership, the kind that lifts others up instead of seeking personal gain. He didn't seek status or recognition. He knelt, He served, He loved, and that's the model we're called to follow, not just in our work, but in every part of our lives. That's why the people you surround yourself with matter. Choose relationships that push you closer to your God-given purpose, that sharpen your character, and that challenge you to grow. Walk with those who encourage your faith, who bring out the best in you, who remind you of the calling on your life. Because the wrong influences won't just slow you down. They can drain your energy, limit your vision, and keep you from becoming who God created you to be. True success isn't just about what you accomplish, it's about the impact you leave on others. It's not measured by titles, wealth, or personal milestones, but by the way you uplift and empower those around you. God never intended for us to walk this life alone, focused only on our own goals. He calls us to pour into others, to invest in people the way Jesus invested in his disciples, teaching, encouraging, and guiding them toward their God-given potential. Think about it. What good is success if it ends with you? If everything you build dies the moment you step away, was it ever truly meaningful? Real success multiplies. It creates something lasting, something that continues to grow in the hearts and lives of others long after you're gone. Maybe you're leading a team, raising a family, or simply trying to be a light in your community. Whatever role you're in, the most powerful thing you can do is share a vision that inspires people to grow. Speak words that build, not break. Lead in a way that lifts, not controls. Show others what's possible not just by what you say, but by how you live. Proverbs reminds us, where there is no vision, the people perish. A life without purpose is empty, but a life aligned with God's plan is full of meaning. So ask yourself, what has He placed on your heart? What impact will outlive you? Because when you shift your focus from personal success to kingdom success, you stop chasing things that fade and start building something eternal, something that reflects His love and leaves His goodness behind wherever you go. The most important lesson in this journey is to never stop growing. A truly successful life isn't built on a single achievement, but on a heart that remains open, willing to learn, willing to improve, and willing to serve. No matter how much you accomplish, there is always more to uncover, more to give, more to become. God has placed unique gifts inside you, strengths designed not just for your benefit, but to uplift those around you. And the only way to unlock them is to keep seeking, keep refining, and keep stepping forward in faith. Growth has no finish line. It doesn't matter where you start. What matters is your commitment to keep moving. Even the moments that feel like failure are simply lessons in disguise, stepping stones in the greater plan God is unfolding. Success isn't about talent alone. It's about the willingness to show up, to work, to trust, and to grow. The real difference between those who flourish and those who stay stuck isn't skill, it's perseverance. It's the faith to keep building, even when results aren't immediate. It's the mindset that refuses to settle for anything less than the fullness of what God has called you to be. And here's the key. When your focus shifts from just personal gain to truly serving others, everything changes. Success isn't about transactions. It's about relationships. It's about lifting people up instead of stepping over them. It's about seeing others not as obstacles or tools, but as brothers and sisters in this journey. A heart that serves with joy, that genuinely seeks to brighten someone else's life, naturally attracts God's favor. So consider the foundation you're laying with every choice you make. Are your actions guided by integrity? Is your purpose bigger than yourself? Because what you build today through your words, your work, and your faith will ripple far beyond what you can imagine. The impact of a life well lived doesn't fade when you're gone. It multiplies, carried forward by the people you've touched along the way. This journey isn't about reaching a final point. It's about becoming more every single day. Keep trusting, keep giving, keep growing, and know that when your efforts are rooted in faith, they will flourish in ways you never expected, leaving behind a legacy that reflects the love and goodness of God. One day, everything you've built, Every choice, every sacrifice, every unseen moment of faith will stand as a testimony to what you believed was possible. And when that day comes, when you look back on the path you've walked, let it not be filled with regret over what you were too afraid to try, too discouraged to pursue, or too distracted to finish. Let it be a story of perseverance, of moments where you should have quit but didn't, of battles that should have broken you but instead shaped you into something stronger. Because the truth is, success isn't found in the easy moments. It's forged in the struggle, the pressure, the waiting, the uncertainty. All of it is refining you in ways you can't yet see. Every frustration is chiseling away at the doubt inside you. Every setback is forcing you to grow in ways comfort never could. And when you refuse to let the struggle define you, when you rise from the disappointment with even greater faith, that's when you step into the kind of success no one can take from you. But hear this, if everything you build dies with you, then it was never truly great. The impact of your life isn't found in what you collect, but in what you pour out. It's found in the lives you lift, the love you give, the wisdom you share. One day, people won't remember the titles you held, the numbers you reached, or the status you achieved. They will remember how you made them feel, the encouragement you gave them when they were on the edge of giving up, the way you reminded them of their worth when the world told them otherwise. And that's the kind of success that echoes into eternity, the kind that doesn't fade when the applause stops, the kind that isn't shaken by loss, failure, or time. So walk boldly into what God has called you to. Let your work be a reflection of your faith. Let your success be measured not by what you gain, but by the light you leave behind. And as you move forward, step with confidence, not in your own strength, but in the power of the one who has been guiding you all along. Now let's take this moment to pray, not just for what we want to achieve, but for the wisdom to build something that lasts, for the courage to keep going when it's hard, and for the kind of faith that refuses to shrink back in the face of the impossible. Heavenly Father, I come before you with a heart weighed down by life's challenges, yet lifted by the promise of your steadfast love. In the quiet moments when doubt and fear creep in, remind me that my breakthrough is not a product of my circumstances, but a reflection of the resilient spirit you have lovingly planted within me. Help me to see each struggle as a secret invitation to grow, to become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate through the refining fire of your grace. Lord, when the burdens of this world feel overwhelming, guide me to understand that every hardship is your gentle way of shaping my character. Just as precious metal is purified by fire, let my spirit be transformed with every trial I face. Grant me the courage to leave behind the familiar and step into the unknown, confident that you are with me every step of the way. Teach me to welcome the unexpected detours, for they lead to blessings I never imagined and a purpose deeper than my own understanding. O Divine Creator, let my journey be a living testament to perseverance and quiet determination. May I learn that true success isn't marked by one triumphant moment, but by a series of small, kind actions, a word of encouragement, a gesture of love, a helping hand, that together build a legacy of compassion and hope. Let my life speak of service, where every act of caring ripples outward, touching hearts and inspiring others to seek your light. Surround me with kind souls who lift my spirit and challenge me to grow closer to you. May their gentle wisdom and warmth help create a community where we support one another, learn from each setback, and celebrate every victory, even the smallest one, as a sign of your unending mercy and grace. In the stillness of my heart, remind me that each step I take, no matter how hesitant, is a sacred part of a journey that continues to unfold. In every season, whether filled with joy or shadowed by hardship, you are teaching me the beauty of resilience and the power of a life dedicated to serving others. I offer my hopes, my struggles, and my dreams into your loving hands, trusting that as I plant seeds of faith and kindness today, a harvest of grace and purpose will bloom tomorrow. Thank you for being my guide, my refuge, and my constant help in times of need. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, whose life and love inspire everything I am, I pray. Amen.